wait for it. I tell you, the first few seconds of the stream always breaks, so you just give it a second. I've started streaming more than I do, recording because of gigabyte, issues. I do not have enough memory on my main drive. Maybe one day I'll sort that issue out, but that'll be, maybe 6 months from now probably. But that would be December. Didn't realize how far we were through the month. Didn't realize how far we were through the month. Okay, the fan's not too loud compared to our previous fan, I tell you. I just had it up there to full audio there to test if it was loud or not. Now, if you give me 1 second, I need to actually set up the thingy. I need to go set up C in chat, I tell you, because I tell you, I always, start streaming, I always forget about setting up chat. Always forget about setting up chat, and also, there are, things not set up yet, a few problems there and there, shall we say. At least I have my glasses on this time, I tell you. At least I have my glasses on this time. Alright. And there's not like big booty ladies, appearing in the the art app. What do you call it? Our ads for their ads of their art that they do. Or advertise. Fine, can you please stop blowing my hair in my face? I'm gonna have to go grab a Kirby clasp, it's that bad. Don't you dare do it again. Alright, they're probably waiting on the way back. Oh, no, didn't do it. Alright. So, you know what, I could just, wait 1 second. Let me open up OKs. So, we are probably going to do a OK. There's the OK template. OK today. And we have, quite a few choices of how we do this, I tell you. Of how we do this. This is perfect, right? Yeah? Yeah, that is perfect. Alright. So, in today's episode, you know what? I'm going to start it off with this one. Just because I thought, it'd be quite funny. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a OK VTuber cosplay to start us off, I tell you. That's what we'll do. But I need to save a picture as a PNG. I'll save it into the OK file. It just make it a little bit easier, I tell you. Please stop blowing my hair into my mouth. Oh, can't get a break, I tell you. I'm just trying to chill and then bam, it's getting blown into my mouth. I'm choking on it. Alright. So, the first OK cosplay that we're going to be doing today, I don't know if I'll do a second one. I do have a second one idea lined up, but I don't have the art for it yet. So, we'll probably leave that for another time, I tell you. But we're going to be starting off with doing a night leak. Our very known night leak, that's what we'll call it. Because I could not get words out there. Alright. So, we need to clean up all of the mess that we had last time. That means there's a lot of mess. There's a lot of mess. And then I could just go over here and I could grab somewhere around there. And there we go. Perfect, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright. You know what, I did not realize that they had cat ears. They're also very, what do you call it? Lit up. What color is this? Actually, that's not too bad. What's the green like? I would have to, like, go in there. Yeah, that's actually a very nice green, I tell you. A very nice green. Alright. So, we also have to fit into OK. That's what we need to do. Let's see. So we're probably gonna go for the darker shade over here. And we're gonna do that for the outside. I also do have a new OK idea. So, it's been like ages since we did an update to OK. you can see that this version of OK, you know, was 2025. No, no, that's not right. That's the one that we did a couple days ago. But the last one that we did was like 2024, and it's been quite some time since then. I am going to beat you up, fan. Not you, fan. I do apologize. I meant the actual, you know, blowy air fan. I'm going to slip my hair around it there. Nah, Kirby grip it. I have this nice pink one that's very good for holding. I do have tinier versions, but you know, I do quite appreciate the larger one as it's very soft on the skin when it touches you. Though the metal bit, you know, oh, that thing's like a dagger, I tell you. You get your finger chopped in that, bam, it's gone. If they needed to, you know, chop down a building, they'll use that, I tell you. I'm joking. There we go. Now we need a light side touch. Let's see. It's very hard to do this. Any, like, you know, bumps outwards will be, you know, cleaned up when we're going round. Just makes it a little bit easier, this. Plus we do actually have to add in the cybernetic style, that being the platen kind of stuff. You know what? I will tell you something. I always wanted to get into robotics. I wanted to create, you know, something interesting. I actually thought of an idea. You know, the walkers from Metal Gear Solid 5? It's kind of like that idea. It's like a mobile, you know, tank unit. And that would be like great for, you know, mountaineers and all that. But there could also be a civilian version. And it could help people traverse, you know, rougher grounds. That was kind of my idea, you know, to go with. I always think back to that idea. I did a lot of planning on it. Mostly just sketching out the idea. Probably would cost, well, for everything like development, it could probably cost a lot for development. But for an actual, they should not be too pricey. They should be under the amount that is, you know, paid for an armored truck. So that's 33 million. So probably 10 million. But then probably 3 million would be the default. And there we go. I think if I ever got into robotics, I would try and pursue that. Or something else. I do have other ideas. I've always wanted to make my own AI as well. Not like other people's AIs, you know, just the AI. Teach you history and such. Well, there's two ideas to that. There's one that would, you know, be like, you know, just a regular one, and then I would like to push the limits of AI. That being into what you call it, medical research. It looks very odd. But now that I know that this is its own color. Oops. Oopsie daisy, has that caused any problems? Not sure. I can just go like this. Now, I talked about that OK idea earlier. And I have been thinking about it for ages now. I'm thinking about doing some light onto Oki's eyes. Because Oki has these eyes. And I was thinking about something that came down like that. It kinda lit up like that. Kinda like that, but not exactly like that. So that does look pretty cool. Becomes more reflective. I wanted to add more soul to it, that's what I wanted to do. There we go. What else can we talk about? You know what, I'm gonna make sure. Alright, I was just checking something there. I also do have the I tried sticker, but I thought it was so funny that it's not even on my head. I tried my best, it's not on my forehead. And that cracks me up. Need to go back on that bit. There we go. It normally takes us long, you know, with VTuber cosplays. There's still, you know, quite a lot of VTubers out there that I still want to do. Thinking about, like, you know, well, I do actually have a bit. So if you're interested in my Discord, I think I do have Linktree in the description. But we have a Linktree. As that, you can just search up Tinkleberry Linktree. And we have a Discord channel where you can actually suggest VTubers to cosplay. And I always keep, you know, ones in mind myself, but it's very hard to keep track of those sometimes, I tell you. Sometimes you do forget. Human, you know, brain does not want to keep, you know, information sometimes. There we go. Unless it's like, you know, extremely important or it's one of those cringy memories. Either one will do. There we go. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty good. It's not very noticeable, but I do really like how this is, you know, two pieces here. It makes it a lot more easier to work with. Also, what color are their eyes? Should we do, like, you know, the same kind of eyes? And I feel like it kind of just, you know, fails when it comes to that. Also, they do have a lighter pink eye over here. Oop. You can see the difference there, I tell you. Alright. Wait, they have blackness. Black lipstick around the mouth. I guess that kind of fits with what we got over here. I guess that kind of fits. What does their inside of mouth look like? Alright, we'll seal some of those colors. We seal the inside of the mouth. There we go. And then they do have a nose. I don't know how the nose normally goes, I tell you. But it kinda looks like a little love heart. Kinda like, you know, something like that. That does not look right. That does not look right. That does not look right. uh, there we go. That did not look right. Cybernetic lines. Okay, it looks like these lines go like this from the eye, bits up here. Don't worry, we still need to do the hair. We will do the hair soon. And then there's a cheek thing that goes down, and up towards the mouth. It does look quite weird, doesn't it? Let me just clean this up. There we go. Not too bad. Does look very odd at eye. Should I do the lines? It really depends. Maybe I should start at the actual mouth area. Because it looks like, you know, bits go down here. Alright. And then bits come out this way. No, it comes out a little bit up and then a little bit down. Alright, and then it hoops up. And then it hoops up. There we go. Looking very odd so far, I tell you. Maybe we should have left some of the detail like this for a little, you know, after. Yeah, that's going to be too far away, isn't it? Those can stay. But they come like that. Alright. I'm drawing this on the face. There we go. Let's see. And then that is a hard one to discern if that's, you know, a mark or intentional. So then that would be there. You know what, do we really need the Americans on the face? It does seem like it would be good, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it kind of ruins a little bit of what we could be doing with it. Alright. Let's see. They do have a lot of purple, you know, interior. Where could we fit this idea in? Maybe I could fit it in down here. It's all about trying to fit different details in to the OK. With certain details you can add, and then certain ones you can't. There we go. And continue to go that direction. Now do I just go like this? That does look kinda like the same thing. And then we could have a smaller version like that. Does look, you know, not too bad, actually. There we go. And let's see how that looks. Does I think it get activated with my fan? I don't think so. Sorry, I just wanted to check. No, it does not. Try to make sure it's not as packed. So it seems like I'm using the wrong color. The ones down here have a lot of grey in between. Maybe I am using the wrong color. Or maybe I'm thinking too much into it. Maybe that's, you know, what's going on. Do something like this. Kinda chops off a certain amount of area where I can put in the purple vein like stuff. Cybernetic wiring, shall we say. You know, when people talk about like, oh, you know, in Cyberpunk, you know, oh, it's great doing all these, you know, cybernetic stuff, you know. I feel like if I was ever in Cyberpunk, I would probably be a person about any cybernetics. But then, you know, you kind of need the hand one for, like, you know, jacking in places to get your ID and all that in. So that's kind of like the problem, you know. So it's always like a very hard, you know, thing that I would be kind of the person that, you know, didn't really do that. Oh, wait. I have to wait on the abyss, you know, telling me the details that have just happened there. Who followed? Who followed? Why is chat so delayed? It takes me a second, I tell you. It takes me a second. Oh, thank you, Felix Malshire, 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 for the follow. It's much appreciated. Do apologise that it took me like a second before I read your name. I should just go to the, window here to read it. I should really get what you call one of those things down in the left-hand corner to tell me like, oh, this person's just followed. Would be so useful, that, I tell you. Would be so useful. Alright. So, let us go and continue to place in the purple wire. And then, it's all good. It's pronounced meow, shirao. Ah. Okay. You want me to call you meow or shirao? Or should I just call you Felix? That would be a little bit easy. That would be a little bit easier to. Alright, let's see. Grab that there. And let us go like that. We gotta add some more detail in here. Just call me Felix. Alright. Ooh. You know what, I should really set up some commands for like, different stuff like, uwu and all that. That would be funny. I could actually do that. I do have a, what's it called? It's stream elements? I'm not sure. The bot that's normally supposed to come in but then gets a little bit tired and then doesn't come in to chat when they're supposed to, I tell you, that bot. It just seems like they don't want to come by every once in a while. Terrible, stream schedule, that's what it is. But I need to set up that. We also do have the Discord for that one, but I think I broke it just because I changed the Discord. There we go. I am the person who you've commented on their bird. Ah, okay. I did not put two and two together until now. Yeah, it is a quite nice bridge, I do plan on playing Minecraft soon after we've done doing art, but what time are we at for art? 28 minutes. We still got a little while to go before we're finished with this piece. Let's see. I keep seeing all these nice details, but then I have to think, I have to fit into this design. Also, what should I color the grass? I think I'll just keep it green. Just because, certain people kind of get singy when you change, certain colors, around constantly. Let's see. We do have to work on the hair. And the hair is actually like the worst part, I tell you. Because I have to fit so much into it. It's probably best to do the ears. That's what I'll say. Probably best to do the ears. Now, how do we want the ears to go? I could do this kind of ear. But then that just means I just have to go like that. Actually, make it more pointy. That's what we'll do. Also, have you worked on your bridge, recently? There we go. And let us go like that. Maybe that's a little bit too far. You know what I've been itching to play again? Toukiden 2. I get like an itch for it. I know I'm probably gonna be terrible at it. I need to customize the controls to my every necessity. That's what I will say, every necessity, because it's not the best in control scheme, just because it's not really ported over well, the control scheme. Great game, just not ported well over. I really want to play it on what do you call it, PlayStation Vita. But sadly mine died. Sadly. And I really want to get another one. But it'd be too expensive, I tell you. I am too broke for that. Alright, that's not looking too bad. And then if we add this around here. There we go. Not too bad at all. Alright. Maybe I should have rounded this bit a bit better. If I just do that, maybe it'll look a little bit nicer. I think that would look a little bit nicer. Alright. Now we actually need the colour in it, and we'll probably start with the tint green before we add in the glow green. So we'll start off by going through it all with the tint green. I should really be doing the inside. The inside looks very complicated, with a bit going like this in the inside. I'll actually just do that now, just because it gets it out of the way, shall we say. And not because we're lazy. I keep getting, like, you know, gas up in my chest there. It is very annoying. Alright. So, I can just easily skip a big chunk there and there and there. There we go. Skip, you know, as much as we can, shall we say. A lot of this does not touch any outside bits, so that's why we can fill it in so easily. And that's not too bad, actually. That is not too bad at all. Alright, so let us go and we'll fill in all of this here. There we go. That's not too bad. It doesn't look the best now because we have not done a lot of the airbrushing and all that yet. But once we start doing airbrushing, oh, it's gotta look so much more better. It's very hard to do a cybernetic, you know, how would you describe it? Cybernetic glow, neon glow, for stuff like this. Especially if your design is very cartoony. I do plan on doing an updated OK at some point, so we'll get on that very soon, hopefully. Very soon, hopefully. There we go. And let me just go like that. And wrap that all the way around. We're just trying to clean up a lot of these little markings that always appear when you fill in. There's a, you know, a certain amount of darkness or light to it. It normally leaves some. Oh, hello there, Nico, or Necromancer. How's it going? You doing alright? You doing safe? It's been a little while since our last stream, but hopefully you're doing alright and staying safe. Alright. Now what? I never followed you, did I? There you go. You can never follow. Alright. There we go. and there we go. Sorry about going quiet there. I'm doing okay, just thought I should drop by. Yeah, it's always nice to have, you know, people drop in and drop out. It's always much appreciated. I also get to show off, you know, my art skill, I tell you. It may not look, you know, anything like this just yet, but we're getting there, I tell you, we're getting there. Plus, I'm not very good at neon designs, I tell you. So we're trying our best here. Plus, I've not went through it with the airbrushing and all that just yet. So once we go through the airbrushing, it'll, you know, it'll be 10 times better. Airbrushing always sorts a lot of the neon issues out because it gives that glow kind of effect to everything. So I do need to master neon at one point. We'll probably have to do some more neon. But now that we got one ear cast done, we'll do the rest. There we go. Just start filling in everything here. Boop, 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 and boop. There we go. Not too bad at all. We just have to clean up a lot of the line-ish issues here that always occur. That has kind of just roughened up a lot of the area there. Oh, drop by soon. Okay, okay. I just looked back at your message there and I saw soon. There we go. You know what, there is so many VTubers that I need to go check in on, I tell you. I really need to, you know, create like a list, I tell you, of who should I raid. Because I have that many VTubers that I follow and it's very hard to keep track of everyone. Because I'm like, oh, this person looks quite nice in design and they're quite a nice personality, you know, I stop by the stream, you know, a few times and bam. I have to try and figure out where they are, you know, in the list. Oh, hello there, Al. How's it going? Hopefully you're doing alright and staying safe. We're currently doing some art here of a VTuber cosplay. This is a VTuber that we're cosplaying, I tell you. It is a VTuber cosplay. I like doing these every once in a while. I really need to do more. They do take a lot of time though. Do take a lot of time. Luckily I can just go like this. And it basically, you know, does not do anything to it. So if I need to clean up this thing, you know, easily, I'd be able to. But hopefully you're doing alright and hopefully you're doing alright and staying safe. Hopefully you're doing alright. You know what, I really do want to play Pokemon Crystal soon. But I still not wrapped my head around, you know, the whole thing, you know, getting it working. Still not wrapped my head around it. Hopefully I can soon. All I need to do is just figure out how to get the right resolution for this thing. I'm not sure on how to do so, it's just very annoying. There we go. We're kind of just fixing a lot of the issues caused by the fill-in tool being a little bit wonky today, I think. Sometimes it leaves good edging, and then sometimes it's just terrible edging. There we go. And let us go like that. Not too bad, not too bad at all. And let us go like that. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. Now that we have the cast of the ears done, sorry for that, I hit a water bottle there. I was trying to think, how can I clean that up? Probably be best to go like that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's not too bad. Alright, now that that part is done, we need to work on the glowing effect. And that's going to be the hardest, I tell you. Alright. Alrighty, right. Oops, that is not the right tool there. That was terribly the wrong tool. Oops. There, you're doing this with mouse is sometimes, very easy, but then sometimes it's also the most difficult thing in the world. Plus not having the best hands, I tell you, for it. Also accounts for any mistakes. Oops. There we go. Yeah, that's actually not looking too bad. There we go. Yeah, that's not looking too bad at all. Now we just need to add some more to it. There we go. Just adding greens and such. You know what, that should be a darker one, shouldn't it? There we go. Alright, that's actually not looking too bad. Now we need to do the, what do you call it, other part. And that'd be airbrushing. So we'd be doing something similar to that. That is not the right colour. We're looking for that. Hey. Something like that. That is a really nice glow effect there. I really like how that works there. Oh, that's actually looking pretty sick, actually. I think we got a good, thing going here. I think we got a good thing going here. Then we'll go for a darker green. Yeah, that's actually looking pretty sick. But I do see that there's some on the back over here. So we're probably going to need to take a smaller one. Yeah, not too bad. Then grab a green. There we go. And now we have to work on the hair. This is going to be the hardest part, I tell you. The hardest part. Because we have to work on making it work. Alright. Oops, I accidentally clicked up there by accident. And then there is a bit that goes down quite far. And then it goes like that. Alright. It's a very, hard one to do, I tell you. Very hard one to do. There we go. Now what color should it be? I feel like this is like the base color. So we'll make that the base color. That's what we'll do. Oh, if I wanted to, I could turn this into like Rainbow Dash. That's how close they look in similarity. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. You know what? They're probably going to say this is terrible hair. I'm doing my best. Okay, I'm doing my best. It's very hard to do hair like this. Do apologise for not speaking there. I do keep forgetting to speak. I keep talking in my head to myself, you know, like, yes, we'll do this, you know, instead of speaking out loud. A common problem, I tell you, a common problem. Maybe, I'm not sure. I am not sure. There we go. Not too bad. Now we do have that the hair does come down this way. And how we're going to do that? Ah, there we go. There we go. And now we just go like that. Just start filling in everything. Not too bad. Everything that can be filled in. There we go. And now we do this. We do also need to do clothing for it. So we will be doing that last, I feel like. There we go. And if you wait 1 second. Alrighty, right. What time we wait anyway? 55 minutes already? Ooh. Didn't realize it was that long. What could we talk about? Well, we need to do some more art eventually. I do want to do some more prop making soon. Meaning that we can have more hats and such. Feel like that'd be fun thing to do. Do also, I accidentally had used blanked out there. Do apologize. Do just want to check how much memory I have. I have 35 gigabytes there, but I have 11 gigabytes there. I'll have to do a clean out, I tell you. Clean some stuff out and, you know, sort some things. Just get rid of stuff that I do not need, I tell you, that's what I'll say. That I do need. Twenty 2024. Don't know what these two things are. But that's 2 gigabytes and that's a gigabyte, so I might get rid of that. Alright. Sorry, I was just thinking to myself, like, you know, I'll get rid of that later for getting a new thing that I do want to try out. I might try out Vroid, you know. I do want to try that out eventually. We tried it like a few years back. Well, I tried it, but I did not have the necessary stuff to keep it running in background, I tell you. So I do want to test Vroid out. We tried it, you know, back in 2023, I think. And it was not too bad, I would say. It was not too bad. I created a model. The model was not too bad looking. It was just baseless, you know, a green hoodie and that's it. Let's see. But if I was to try and recreate it there, I don't know what I could, you know, recreate. I would need like assets and all that, but yeah. Pretty sure the price on the assets are expensive on Vroid. So I'm not too sure, I tell you. I'm not too sure. I was trying to see if I could make, you know, the wiggliness of the hair more. Could that work? I think I could make that work. We're trying to make the hair look a lot more messy. So we're having bits that, you know, overhang into different bits of hair. You know, like that. And not too bad, not too bad at all. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's more like what I'm talking about, I tell you. That is a little more like what I'm talking about there. I do apologize when I'm doing art, I go a little bit more quiet than usual. It's just, you know, I don't know how I would describe it. I don't know how I would describe it, I tell you. Is it an autistic thing? I'm thinking so. It's just like, you know, I'm not sure. I don't think it is. More just like, you know, try to focus on one part, I focus on one part and forget to focus on another. I would feel like that would be more like it. Alright. Time to do some more airbrushing. That is not too bad. That is not too bad. That is really getting there, actually. There we go. That is really getting there. I could just go bam. That is actually very good. And what if I was to add white to the mix? Would that be better? Or would white be better for highlighting these bits? Could be. It does get rid of that bit around the bottom, doesn't it? Alright, that's good to know. That's good to know. Alright, the final thing that we need to do is actually clothing. And it looks like it's just going to be hoodie. No, not a hoodie. What do you call it? Over jacket? Body warmer, that's it. Body warmer. They must get cold, you know, being metallic. Ish. The public polymer. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. We go like that. And then We bring it all the way down. And we do the same over here. We just can't see the full thing. I do know that it's supposed to be, you know, this. Alright. And then do that. And then, oh, the inside is actually pink. That is good to know, actually. Sorry, I'm currently focusing on, you know, making sure that the line does not mess up like that.